big building is coming up. We're building a 500-bed student residence for the students studying at Algoma here in Brampton.
We need institutions that respect academic integrity. We need institutions that have a plan for housing, and Algoma is going to be the first to really take that ask from Ottawa seriously.
Algoma University ਦੀ ਤਰਫ ਤੋਂ ਕਾਫੀ ਵੱਡੀ ਅਨਾਉਂਸਮੈਂਟ ਕੀਤੀ ਗਈ ਹੈ. Algoma University's big announcement. They are addressing the housing crisis. Algoma University unveiled the plan to build 500-bed student residence here in Brampton. So we are into the Algoma University campus right now in the Brampton downtown, and nearby on the Nelson Street and Park Street, corner of the Nelson Street and Park Street, Algoma unveiled a plan to build 500-bed student resident. Means 500 bed the student the resident banaya jayega. Algoma University is investing back in the students. From 2028 to 29, in that year, they are expecting that this project will be completed. So 2028 तक इन्हां दा मनना है कि वो जो project है 500 bed the student resident वो complete हो जाएगा. उस टाइम ਜਿਹੜੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਆਉਗੇ international students ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੂੰ residency ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਹੋਏਗੀ, so they can stay into that, and the rent of those will be approximately $700 to $1,300. If we see the outside rent, accommodation is not less than $2,000. So Algoma University will be providing a reasonable, affordable accommodation for students in the range of $700 to $1,300. That's amazing. So Algoma University is investing back in the students because their the courses are jobs driven. Means when you complete your courses in the Algoma, so they are job driven. They are linked with the job employment. Let's see what the announcement made by the Algoma. We'll see the president of the Algoma is here, Asima. Mayor Brown is there, council team is here, and builder Green. So they have a agreement for 35 years for that development project. So big announcement by Algoma University investing back in students, and 100 million plus they are investing in student housing, student affordability crisis which is going on here. So they are addressing that issue. Let's see what they have to say. So how university can address that issues along with the ministry so that in future those kind of protests should not happen, because that damages city of Brampton reputation. So what mechanism altogether city, Algoma ministry, and being a resident, we want to be a proud resident because Algoma is here. So how Algoma can address that issue for the future? Thank you.
Thanks, very good question. And I think the number one answer to that is academic integrity. So we have to ensure that the students who are graduating from Algoma have come from a very high standard of education. We have had to deal with some of the other aspects of that in some of the private career colleges, for example. We know these stories. We know that that has made it even more difficult at times for public institutions as they're holding on to academic integrity. We also know that there is a real challenge right now with AI. The sophistication of AI technology is making it easier and easier, or more and more tempting for students to try to utilize the technology to get higher grades. A lot of pressure there. And so we're doing a lot of work right now in our Teaching and Learning Center to bring in new technologies to ensure that our students understand the implication if that happens, right, on their journey. But we have a lot of supports in place for students. Our pass rate this semester, 90%. 90%. We will always have some challenge, and for some groups, protest is the way that they thought and still sometimes think that they can get the grades that they want. That's not true. They have to show up for class, they have to learn, they have to study hard in these programs. These programs are not easy. They're university programs. When you think about computer programming, you can't miss 4 or 5 classes. You have got to be there every single day. And so our professors are really working hard to make sure that every student that comes knows the expectations for attendance, that they know what they need to do to learn. We have 10 hours of tutoring. I don't know any other university that does 10 hours of free tutoring for all of our students, every single one of them. So the minute they get into a challenge, they can access that tutoring support. We also have math labs. We have English support labs. There's so much support. They just have to come and get it. We also know that it is hard to be a student at times. And so we've got this underneath this building, the bottom floor is all dedicated to student supports. So we're trying to wrap our students with these supports, but we still need everybody to do their very best. Every student has to work hard. That's my opening remarks. If you work hard and you ask for help when you need it, and you work hard, we will cross the stage together, right? And that's the ultimate goal. Our students are doing very well.
So Algoma University ਦੀ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਵੱਡੀ announcement ਹੋਈ ਹੈ. Such a big announcement for city of Brampton. They are really proud that Algoma has spreaded their footprints and a big building is coming out.
A big building is coming up. We're building a 500-bed student residence for the students studying at Algoma here in Brampton.
So when this project will be completed?
We're starting this fall, shovel in the ground, and right now we're aiming for the year 28-29. However, with a lot of the commitments that the city is making, as well as the province, to reduce the red tape, we think we may actually get out a little bit ahead of that.
Okay, and we have read that the rent will be approximately $700 to $1,300.
Yes.
That is very cheap because outside we see the accommodations, they are not less than $2,000.
Yes, that's
so is
right.
Algoma investing back in students?
We are, and we're looking at ways to keep those prices down. We're actually working with a developer, Greenwin, who is known to have a very, very solid reputation. And as part of the RFP process, we were looking at groups that could design and build affordable housing solutions while still maintaining a really high quality housing environment for our students.
And how Algoma make sure that the programs they are having in the Algoma campuses, they are one of the best which generates employment?
Yes, the mayor spoke about our commitment to ensuring that when students graduate from Algoma, first of all, they have a very strong education, but they're also ready for the workforce. So we have a lot of things happening here right now, but the most important for us is the programming. And so we're working very closely with the city to understand the needs of the community. We know that the city wants to be a real leader in the ICT area. So we're building out a lot of computer science and technology programming. Big data science is on its way. MBA programming, things that we know will help this city thrive.
Okay, and how many campuses Algoma has in Ontario?
We have 3 campuses. We have one in Timmins, one in Sault Ste. Marie, and one in Brampton. We've been in Brampton now for 15 years.
Okay, and in your remarks, you said that protest is not the way, and one student, when they come, they have to attend the classes.
Must attend the classes. So I think what we have...
And these are the university programs. You cannot miss a single class.
You cannot miss a class, not even one.
So your message to those students also?
My message is always work hard. Spend every day putting some time into your studies. Attend every single class. If you get into any kind of difficulty, we have the free tutoring. We have the mental health supports. We have counselors that are on site every single day to support. We have a writing lab. We have a math lab. There is no reason for a student who's working really hard not to excel at Algoma. And, we boast a 90% success rate at the university, but we work them hard.
Yes.
Our classes are small, and we know when our students are not performing, so we are on their case all the time.
So protests are not the way?
Protesting is not the way. I think that some got caught up with some external groups that sort of promised them that, protests will get you a passing grade. It won't. We have very stern policy and process in place. And if you haven't been successful, we'll work with you You do your part, we'll do our part.
And as as you mentioned, that AI technology plays a very big role. And
Yeah.
we heard the news that many students, they prefer their assignments getting it done from overseas. Like sitting agents paying them money and get the assignments done.
Yes.
We don't need that kind of students here, like because they are the future force. So
right.
how university can make sure that these assignments, what they do are legitimate, they are done here by themselves?
Yeah, so the AI technology is a real struggle for universities around the world right now. The advancements that are being made are making it harder and harder to detect. Having said that, we have a whole teaching and learning center and a tech team that are working with our professors to make sure that when students graduate from Algoma University, they are graduating with a legitimate and high quality degree. Will we catch everybody? No, but we tell our students, don't even be tempted by it, because if we find out, the answer is a zero.
And finally, what is the target of Algoma for the international students? Number of domestic students, or how many international students they need and how many domestic seats?
Yeah, so we're open to that conversation. We don't have a magic like this is the number. Our goal is to have 2,000 domestic students, and we're on track to reach that goal within the next 3 years. In the meantime, what we're doing is diversifying the international enrollment. Now, it's a little challenging at this point in time with all of the announcements that have come federally. We understand why those announcements have come, and we're working within the parameters. But at the end of the day, we have a big strategy. It's all around diversification. It's all around a very multi-complex experience for students, where they get to meet students from around the world, they get to meet local students, and they get that opportunity for cross-cultural understanding that we so value. Lots of different program options that are going to lead to employment. And at the end of the day, it'll be our alumni that will tell the story.
Thank you, and we wish you all the best from 2028-29 session. Those who are watching you from the overseas,
Yes.
because our feed goes there also. From that courses, they will get accommodation also with Algoma.
Yes.
And with that great news, we wish you all the best.
Thank you so much. Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Thank you.
टुडे इज़ अ बिग मोमेंट. हमारे यहाँ पे यूनिवर्सिटी ने अनाउंसमेंट किया है स्टूडेंट रेजिडेंस के लिए. ये 500 बेड्स का रेजिडेंस होगा विच विल बी रेडी इन 2028-2029. एवरी स्टूडेंट, इंटरनेशनल स्टूडेंट जब कनाडा आता है, वी ऑलवेज वांट टू मेक श्योर एवरीवन गेट्स अ गुड हाउसिंग, एंड दिस इज़ व्हाट वी वांटेड फॉर आवर स्टूडेंट्स एट एल्गोमा यूनिवर्सिटी, ताकि जो भी आए सेफ एनवायरनमेंट में रहे, एंड दे डिजर्व दैट as a student who comes to Canada. So we are very excited and very proud of this achievement that Brampton, where housing crisis itni chal rahi hai, but hum log tab bhi we are moving forward towards creating housing which will assist our students. Thank you.
So I've been pretty critical of provincial and federal policies that have allowed international students to explode with no housing. We've seen examples in Brampton where there's 25 students in a basement apartment. And so when the government announced they were going to put a cap on international students and link student visa approvals to housing, I was pleased. We can't tolerate unsafe conditions in Canada. We can't tolerate 25 students living in an unsafe basement apartment. What I hoped would come from this announcement 6 months ago was that academic institutions would build housing. Yes, I'm so pleased that what we had hoped for is actually happening. Today, Algoma announced the construction of student housing, 500 new beds, 500 student housing units. This is the start of what's going to be a great journey for Canada. Rather than unsafe basement apartments, we're going to see proper student housing. Thank you, Algoma, for being the first mover. Thank you for Algoma for really responding to what the government had hoped to see happen. We need institutions that respect academic integrity. We need institutions that have a plan for housing, and Algoma is going to be the first to really take that ask from Ottawa seriously.